It's heartbreaking. It's sad because coming from India and having actually seen a lot of Kashmiris myself, I could not relate to, once you see what's happening or what's they have gone through, it's tough, right? Empathy is something else, but being there and having dealt with what happened, oh my God.
I was in school when this started. It started when I was in grade 2. मेरे बगल में जो पीछे बैठा था, he would tell me, पंडित दफा हो. मैं 10 साल की थी. चलो, एक दिन मुझे बोला गया कि निकलना है, आज रात में ही निकलना है. तो मैं बहुत छोटी थी, मुझे इतना ज़्यादा मेमोरीज में भी इतनी ज़्यादा नहीं है कि क्या हुआ. जो मैंने आज देखा, आई थिंक आई रीलिव्ड इट ऑल. हमारे अपने देश में हमें एक माइग्रेंट का लेबल मिला. नॉट ओनली माइग्रेंट, वी वर कॉल्ड तुम लोग भागे वहां से. डू यू इवन अंडरस्टैंड हाउ इट इज? एक लड़की का रेप उसके बाप से करवाया गया. हाउ डू यू फील अबाउट दैट?
We are here at Cineplex Odeon in Langley, and we are watching the movie The Kashmir Files. It is about religion, it is about injustice, about Hindus, Muslims, and a great tragedy that happened in the past to do with Kashmir. So we are going to talk to some people that are going to watch the movie, and then they're going to join us. So we'll let you see what their thoughts are about the film The Kashmir Files.
I've seen the PTSD in my wife and my in-laws' lives for 25 years, right? It's not easy. I'm emotionally strung with this movie. I have seen in India, I've seen their Pandit families having suffered through 25 years and still given to their children what they have, what they learned about education. It's a fact. None of them lifted arms. And I'm a militant of a sort. And I tell people, you know what? Lift up the bloody arms. I'm one of those. I've told my wife that so many times. I have seen her. I have seen my wife.
We have a 10 minutes total, and we have people from Kashmir, and we want to talk to them actually. We'll talk in the lobby. We have 1 hour in the lobby. In theater, we have only 10 minutes. So I would like to invite Jeevanji, who came, who represents the people of Kashmir. We want to ask him how much truth is there in this movie. So this is the real person actually, and what he wants to say. And then for us, we have media in the lobby, and all of us, we know we have emotions, and we want to say something. So we have another 1 hour in the lobby. But in theater, we have only 10 minutes, and we have three prominent people from Kashmir, one from the camps, and 2 other leaders. They want to say a few words. Dr. Vanj.
My name is Ibn Rahman. When this gruesome event, when this happened in 1990, I was actually here. I had seen things kind of changing from the 80s. We grew up in the 60s and 70s, and we grew up in the 60s and 70s in Kashmir, and I think we had very good, and I would say reasonable relationships with Muslims. Around the 80s, things started changing. People came under the influence. I don't know whether it was the events in Afghanistan or the Saudi influence or whatever. The radical versions of that particular religion came into Kashmir, and it was a ploy where minds were turned within a matter of few years. We saw within our medical colleges, etc., you saw radical changes in your own friends, in the professors, but that it would happen so rapidly, and it would evolve into something as dramatic, was unprecedented, and we never thought this would happen. So we are still thinking, we sort of became pawns in a game, What hurt us, what continues to hurt us, is the betrayal then, betrayal since that time, in none of the people there recognizing and admitting that this atrocity of this magnitude had been carried out. There are still reasons given, like somewhere outlined in the movie, that this was all the plan of the governor or whatever. So our pain, I mean, I think there are gruesome details here which is kind of blood-curdling. And there are so many other things. It doesn't capture truly the pain of all the families that were dispersed throughout India, in the camps, what difficulties we went through, how many people died of all those calamities that befell us. And equally terrible was the lack of support from the Indian state. All we wanted was a recognition that this had happened. This is actually a telling point that minorities, no matter where, should be treated with respect, irrespective of what country, irrespective of what religion they belong. This is the 21st century. We expect, we demand justice. That's all we want from this gory thing, because I think we were in a minority, we have never wanted revenge, but just admitting that this terrible genocide happened. The culture that had existed for 5,000 years came to an end. Our children do not speak Kashmiri. They do not conduct the rituals that our parents, grandparents, and our Purvajas did for centuries. So all the important places that we went to, now we go, people will go in, fly in for a day, come back. It's not the same. So we are seeking justice, we are seeking not retribution, but acceptance that this happened, and the institution of an inquiry. There was not even an inquiry into this thing. Recently, somebody launched a PIL, a public interest litigation request with the Supreme Court of India, and they said, we can't admit it. It's now more than 30 years. It's gone beyond the statute of limitation. That is terrible. So the Indian state is kind of covering up, and I think it's not just about the Kashmiri Hindus. This could be any minority within India. Because this can happen. This can happen. You can have, we have so many minorities and sub-minorities in different parts of India, and this can happen to others. So I think the best thing to do with these situations is to shine light. That is the best disinfectant, and that's what we are requesting the Indian state to do. Thank you very much.
As I said, we have only 10 minutes. We'll gather in the lobby after this. But now I request Hema ji and Shreya Kazi हिंदी में वो थोड़ा बताएंगे. And then ये बहुत जानना जरूरी है कि इस मूवी में जो दिखाया है उसमें कितना सच है. क्योंकि बहुत से लोग हमें भी इतने मॉडर्न हैं, हम जाके सोचेंगे शायद बहुत एग्जैजरेटर है, शायद इसमें कुछ there is some addition to the story. तो ये वहाँ के लोग एग्जैक्टली में बता सकते हैं. हेमा जी.
पहले सबका धन्यवाद. My heart is really full. I have watched this movie last night. ये सोच के कि शायद आज मैं कुछ बोल पाऊँ, but हिम्मत नहीं हो रही. Salute Galio Relio. I have heard this numerous times. I was in school when this started. It started when I was in grade 2. मेरे बगल में जो मुस्लिम लड़का था, he would tell me, पंडित दफा हो, इंडियन क्रिकेट टीम कभी नहीं जीतेगी. अगर वो जीते थे तो हमें पत्थर पड़ते थे. We have never celebrated Diwali. We don't know what Holi is. Can you imagine? We are Indians, migrants. That's what we are called in our own country. Kashmiri Lole, a label that we got when we moved out of Kashmir. It hurts us so much इन आवर ओन कंट्री, हमारे अपने देश में हमें एक माइग्रेंट का लेबल मिला. Not only a migrant, we were called तुम लोग भागे वहाँ से. Do you even understand how it is? एक लड़की का रेप उसके बाप से करवाया गया. How do you feel about that? My half of family was killed in Kashmir. My mama was gunned down on a street and he was left to die. उनको पानी नसीब नहीं हुआ. My mom was a witness to that. Ashok Kazi, Satish Tiku was killed by his own best friend. He was 22. What was his fault? They called them RSS people. No, they were not. They were just Kashmiri Pandits who wanted to live in peace. What was our fault? Where we kicked out of our own places? आज मेरे बच्चे हैं जो कनाडा में पैदा हुए हैं. What if I want to take back home and show them where I was born? I don't have a place to go back to. Why am I migrant in my own country? That's my question to all my Hindu people here, my brothers here. Give us an answer what we should do. Where do we go from here? Even from Article 370, we have nothing else left. We are asking you today. Please tell us what is our fault. I'm sorry, but this is after 32 years of our life, something has come out now. नहीं तो पिछले 30 साल से सब चुप थे. सब ये देख रहे थे कि कश्मीरियों को माइग्रेंट कैंप में है, शायद रिलीफ मिल रहा है, वहां पर खाना मिल रहा है. But the fact is, so many people died because of snake bites. They were butchered in Jammu even. How many of you know that Kashmiri Pandits were abducted in Jammu? उनको जबरदस्ती शादी करवाई गई जम्मू के डोगरों के साथ. We lost our culture, we lost our language, and we have lost it all. After 10 years, Kashmiri Pandits won't be any more in the world if this continues. Thank you for coming. मैं हिंदी में बात करूंगी. मैं 10 साल की थी. चलो एक दिन मुझे बोला गया कि निकलना है, आज रात में ही निकलना है. तो मैं बहुत छोटी थी, मुझे इतना ज़्यादा मेमोरीज में भी इतनी ज़्यादा नहीं है कि क्या हुआ जो मैंने आज देखा. आई थिंक आई relived it all. But I'm thinking about my parents. They were my age. If somebody tells me today, निकलो वैंकूवर से, सब यहाँ छोड़ जाओ, आपको कोई बोले निकल जाओ, क्या करोगे आप लोग? सब छोड़ जाओ. किसी के पास तो जूता भी नहीं था साथ में. From scratch, हम सब के पेरेंट्स ने दोबारा से सब शुरू किया. और हम सब ने, we all did good for ourselves. But we lost everything. We lost our identity. कल को अगर कोई गुजराती है, वो कहीं भी काम करते हैं, उनको वापस रिटायरमेंट के बाद जाना तो गुजरात जाते हैं. They go back to their homeland. Where should we go? Where should we go? That's my question. Where should we go?
Let's have a big round of applause for being so brave. I know emotions are high and all of us, we want to say something, but time is short, but still we have media in the lobby. All of you can say your emotions to media and they will capture it and they will play it. What we want from you today is, we want to give the respect and dignity back to our Kashmiri friends, our brothers and sisters. Usually हम घर जाते हैं, फिर भूल जाते हैं, फिर अपने कामों में बिजी हो जाते हैं, अपने बच्चे बड़े करने हैं, अपने काम पे जाना है. लेकिन जब भी कभी कोई रेडियो पे बात आती है कि यूक्रेन को डोनेशन देनी, हम करते हैं. बात आती है फिलिपीन को डोनेशन देनी है, वहाँ पे ऐसी आफ्ता आगे हम करते हैं. बात आती है कि दूसरे देशों में ये हो रहा है, वी स्टैंड अप because we believe in human rights. What about human rights of our own brothers and sisters from Kashmir? उस पर कभी नहीं हम बात करते हैं. कितनों को पता है, नहीं पता है, मुझे नहीं पता, बट कहा जाता है जब जागो तब सवेरा. आज पता चल गया, एटलीस्ट आप 350, 400, 500 लोगों को पता चल गया है. And I think tomorrow onwards, if you see or watch or listen anything on media, please call them and tell them
This is the truth, and we stand with Kashmiri families. And we want Indian government also to make sure that when our Kashmiri boys and girls, our brothers and sisters and uncles and aunties, they go back, they can go with respect and they are welcome there in Kashmir. Because today, as Shreya said, as Hema said, that they are not even welcome. क्योंकि उनके घरों के पास तो वही लोग रहते हैं ना जिन्हें उन्हें घर से निकाला है. So इंडिया एक डेमोक्रेटिक कंट्री है, इंडिया एक फ्री कंट्री है. और आज ये भी कहा जाता है कि इंडिया का जो प्राइम मिनिस्टर है वो हिंदुओं की सपोर्ट में है. सच में क्या सपोर्ट में है? This is what we need to see. This is not the matter of even Hindus. This is the matter of humans. So हमें humans की सपोर्ट करनी है. यहाँ पर ओनली हिंदूज नहीं बैठे हैं. दोनों थिएटर्स में सिर्फ हिंदूज नहीं बैठे हैं, बहुत से और धर्मों के भी लोग बैठे हैं. सो हर धर्म ये सिखाता है कि सभ्य सांझी बाल सदायन कोई ना तिसे बारा जियो. मैं पंजाब से हूँ तो मुझे सिख धर्म के बारे में ज़्यादा पता है. हिंदुओं में कहा जाता है वासुदेवाय कुटुंबकम. अरे सारे धर्मों में यही कहा जाता है कि हम सब लोग भाई बहन हैं. फिर ये झगड़ा क्यों? फिर कश्मीरी बाहर के क्यों हो गए? So we need to stand up, we need to talk about their human rights, we need to send them back to Kashmir whenever they want with dignity, and we need to do our part. I will just close it as I know time is getting over, but we have media in the lobby. Anyone who wants to say anything, please gather, please talk to. We have over 100 people from Kashmir here. तो एक बार उनके लिए तालियां और धन्यवाद हम करना चाहते हैं. And thank you to all of you for coming. I know.
मूवी बारे दसो भी थानू किदां मूवी लगी?
मूवी इस तरह लगती है जिस तरह बिल्कुल रियलिटी हैगी है. हाँ जी, जिसने भी बनाई है उन्हें बहुत सोच समझ के और बहुत अच्छे तरीके नाल और बिल्कुल रियलिटी शो की हैगी है. वी आर फीलिंग वेरी सॉरी फॉर कश्मीरी पंडित. दैट्स व्हाट हैपेंड टू देम, एंड everybody should watch this movie and learn a lot of things from them. And you need your own safety, how you can protect your nationality or religious way, and it show a lot of different things. But I request everybody, please come and watch this show, please. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And tell me, how did you feel about the movie?
It's a story that was, I don't know why is it that we are seeing this after 32 long years, right? We talk.
Do you mean that you weren't aware that this happened?
I was not aware that this genocide happened. We talk about, the atrocities that were committed to the Jews. We talk about the Holocaust. How come this was suppressed by the government? I really don't know. And this is horrific, truly horrific. And hats off to the creators, who made this movie, and they are bringing out the truth.
I appreciate your perspective because I share the same one. I was watching it and I was horrified. I had no idea either.
Absolutely, it's heartbreaking. It's sad because coming from India and having actually seen a lot of Kashmiris myself, I could not relate to once you see what's happening or what they have gone through. It's tough, right? Empathy is something else, but being there and having dealt with what happened, oh my God.
Because we are all children of, mothers and fathers. We have our own children. We have our aunts, uncles, grandparents. So you can really feel that in the film. They're being ripped from their families.
Absolutely, yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. Which part of India are you from?
I'm from the north. Okay. Yeah, from Uttar Pradesh. So, yeah.
Well, thank you for talking to us.
Thank you so much.
So, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੁਝ मूवी ਬਾਰੇ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਚਾਹੋਗੇ?
I'm out of words.
First of all, you're from India. Okay, which part are you from?
I'm from Punjab, actually.
And so you're not from Kashmir, but you're from Punjab.
I'm not from Kashmir, but I have a lot of friends from the Kashmir.
You're a human, so.
That's true. I'm out of word because the truth which has been shown here, we have heard in bits and pieces, but the facts were never disclosed to us. And if you talk to the Kashmiri families who are coming out, we have 60-70 families. Please do talk to them. Like, they have suffered, not us. Please do talk to them.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, Raj ji, ਤੁਸੀਂ मूवी ਬਾਰੇ ਕੀ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਚਾਹੋਗੇ?
मूवी बहुत बढ़िया है जी. मैं उत्थे नया कश्मीर च प्रोजेक्ट करन आया सी 1990 च. 89 च गया सी तो 1990 च वापस आया सी तो उदों उस टाइम माहौल खराब होना शुरू हो गया सी.
सो ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪ ਦੇਖਿਆ ਸੀ ਥੋੜਾ ਬਹੁਤਾ?
हाँ जी, मैं देखा उत्थे और उत्थे प्रोटेस्ट बड़ा ਵੱਡਾ ਹੋਇਆ ਸੀ ਜਦੋਂ ਸਟਾਰਟ ਹੋਇਆ ਸੀਗਾ. ਐਂਡ ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਕਸ਼ਮੀਰੀ ਪੰਡਿਤ ਐਂਡ ਮੁਸਲਿਮ ਬਹੁਤ ਵਧੀਆ ਸੀਗੇ ਨੇ ਦੇ ਵਰ ਸੋ ਨਾਈਸ ਸਡਨਲੀ ਵਿਦਨ 5 ਮੰਥ ਐਵਰੀਥਿੰਗ ਗਾਟ ਚੇਂਜ
ਉਹਦਾ ਕਾਰਨ ਕੀ ਹੈ?
ਉਹਦਾ ਕਾਰਨ ਪਾਕਿਸਤਾਨ ਦਾ ਪ੍ਰੋਪੇਗੈਂਡਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਟੈਰਰਿਸਟ ਭੇਜੇ ਜਾਂ ਕੁਛ ਆਈ ਡੋਨਟ ਨੋ who did their mind wash
ਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਵਿਗੜ ਗਈ।
ਤਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਵਿਗੜ ਗਿਆ ਸੋ ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ
ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ ਸੋ ਮਚ ਹਜ।
The movie was so good and it's all based on true facts.
ਸੋ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਦਰਸ਼ਕ ਦੇਖ ਰਹੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ
Yes.
ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਹੋ ਕਿ ਜਰੂਰ ਆ ਕੇ ਦੇਖੋ।
ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਆ ਕੇ ਦੇਖਣ ਇਹ ਮਸਟ ਵਾਚ ਮੂਵੀ ਆ ਜੇ ਕੋਈ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਨੂੰ ਪਿਆਰ ਕਰਦਾ ਤਾਂ ਇਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਿ ਕਸ਼ਮੀਰੀ ਪੰਡਤਾਂ ਲਈ ਕੋਈ ਵੀ ਮਾਈਨੋਰਿਟੀ ਲਈ ਜ਼ੁਲਮ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਤੇ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਦੇਖਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ
ਇਨਸਾਨੀਅਤ।
ਇਨਸਾਨੀਅਤ ਐਜ਼ ਅ ਹਿਊਮਨ ਬੀਇੰਗ ਯੂ ਸ਼ੁਡ ਵਾਚ ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ
ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ ਹਜ। ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ। ਤੁਸੀਂ मूवी बारे की कहना चाहोगे?
मैं कश्मीरी पंडित हूँ। मैं कश्मीर से आया हूँ। स्टिल आई एम रिजाइडिंग इन जम्मू एट प्रेजेंट। आई हैव कम हियर, माय सन इज हियर। तो जो फिल्म दिखाई है ये बिल्कुल सच्ची आधारित है, सच्ची ये इस पे। तो जब हम वहाँ से निकले हमारे पास कुछ नहीं था। विद इन 2,000 रुपये मेरे पास थे, मेरे बच्चे थे, हम फैमिली के 9 मेंबर थे। और वहाँ क्या हुआ वो आपने एपिसोड देखा है। इससे भी ज़्यादा हाल हुआ है, लोगों के आंखें निकाली और हमारे सामने आंखें निकाल दी गई है वहाँ। और किसी का ऐसे सर काट दिया गया है और किसी की लाश आज तक नहीं मिली है। ये हमने वहाँ देखा है, ये मंजर देखा है, ये हाल देखा है। हम शाह थे वहाँ और यहाँ हम फ़कीर बन गए हैं, फ़कीरों की लाइफ जी रहे हैं। क्योंकि हमारे साथ हालत थे, हमारे पास बाग थे, बगीचे थे, मकान थे, सब कुछ था हमारे पास। क्या नहीं था? हम कारोबार था हमारे पास, वो सब एक ही सेंस में सारा चला गया। अब हम इस टाइम भी कैंपों में रह रहे हैं, दैट इज़ कॉल्ड जगती कैंप। हम जगती कैंप में रखे और 1 रूम या 2 रूम कह दीजिए उसको, दैट इज़ 2 रूम तो है लेकिन नाम के 2 रूम है, वहाँ रह रहे हैं हम। सोर्स ऑफ इनकम तो ख़त्म हो गया सारा। फिर हमने जाके ये देखे मेरी ब्लैक शेयर हो गई है, ये मैं धूप में जाके, और ये मैं आई विटनेस हूँ, सच्ची बोलता हूँ। धूप में जा के मैंने कपड़े बेचे हैं अपने इधर इस पे, तब जाके मैंने सर्वाइव किया है। मेरे 2 बच्चे थे, मेरे भाई के 2 बच्चे थे, मेरा छोटा भाई था, मदर एंड फादर आते ही उनकी डेथ हो गई। तो तब जाके मैंने कुछ थोड़ा सा वो चला दिया। इसके बाद मैंने अपने बच्चों को पढ़ाया और मैंने फेरी लगाई, मजदूरी करके मैंने अपने बच्चों को पढ़ाया। एक को मैंने इंजीनियर बनाया, ही इज सेटल्ड एट जम्मू चंडीगढ़।
सो थोड़ी जी हकीकत आज दिखा गई है इस मूवी में।
बिल्कुल जो इस फिल्म में है ना, बिल्कुल अग्निहोत्री जी ने बिल्कुल सच्चाई दिखाई है, बिल्कुल सच्चे है। और ये फिल्म हम सबको देखनी चाहिए क्योंकि इसे एक सीख मिलती है, इससे एक सबक मिलता है ह्यूमैनिटी बेस पे। कल को हमारे साथ भी हो जाएगा और किसी के साथ भी हो जाएगा, इसलिए ये फिल्म देखनी चाहिए। चाहे मोमडन हो, चाहे हिंदू हो, चाहे सिख हो, चाहे क्रिश्चियन हो, ये फिल्म देख लो। ये अच्छी फिल्म है और ये सच्चाई है, ये सच्चाई कोई डिनाई नहीं कर सकता। आपने पेपरों में देखा होगा, आपने मीडिया में देखा होगा, आपने ये टीवी पे देखा होगा, लेकिन जो वहाँ सच्चाई हमने देखी है, जो मैसेकर हमने वहाँ देखा है, जो कत्लेआम हमने वहाँ देखा है, और आज भी हमारा दिल, मैं कहता हूँ अपनी मैं ज़मीन पे जाऊँ, वो ज़मीन खाया है उन्होंने। किसने किया हमारे लिए? कुछ नहीं किया आज तक कुछ।
So I'm very sorry पैदा हुई है, पर at least हुन मूवी बनी है, असी भी देख सकते पे कि injustices हुई हैं। तो I wish you the best. First of all, that took a lot of courage, and I was watching you, and I didn't know your story. I just felt your passion, and I know no one said it, but I am truly sorry. As a human, I'm sorry, like sincerely.
I appreciate that. This was not a movie for us. It's our reality, what we have been through, what we have seen. I have left Kashmir in middle of night when my grandfather was held hostage with a gun on his head, and they asked us to leave there and then. My dad had to leave everything. My mom couldn't even collect a single utensil. We went to Jammu and we suffered there as well. But Kashmir still is in my heart. I haven't been to Kashmir since 1989. That's when I left last. But this is my dream. I want my boys who are here today with me, I wanted to show them what I have been through, what my family has been through, what my community has been through. I want to take them home. I want to show them our home, where I was born, what Kashmir is about. Oh, this is heart-wrenching for us. It's not easy for any Kashmiri to say, but we have suffered in our own country, and we hope for justice. We really hope for
So
it.
tell me, the movie that we just watched, I know that obviously some of it is, but yeah, they want you to turn this way because they want to see the, you know, the emotion that you have. This is real. We watched a movie. Would you say that that movie is depicting reality? Like that's actually very accurate?
What part of it do you think was not accurate?
I'm not saying it's not accurate. I'm asking you, is that a true account? Would you agree with that?
I'll give you an incident. I was in grade 9 when it all happened. My mom saw 1,000 people just running down our lane saying, "Saliv Galiv Yara Liv." She got hold of my hand. She moved me on the 3rd floor with a packet in her hand. And after all these years, last year I came to know she had a packet that was poisonous and she was about to give it to me because she didn't want her daughter to get raped. That is one instance. My mama was killed and there were so many people killed there. I don't know what part of this movie can actually be said that it's false, but I would say it's just 1% what you have seen today. There's a lot more what we have suffered. There's a lot more to share.
I have no doubt about that. At least this is a step in actually opening some eyes because I'm ashamed to admit I didn't even know that this existed until tonight. So thank you for sharing your story.
Thank you so much
Yeah,
for having us.
okay, thank you. So tell us about your experience in watching the film and your own personal experience.
Yeah, see, I have 3 things to say. One, there cannot be a more accurate depiction of what has been shown in the movie. For one reason, some of the references that have been made in the movies, I am witness to that. So one of the references
Did you say you're a personal witness to this? Oh, okay.
So one of the references was Satish Tikku was killed. He was a friend of mine whom I played with. He was a friend of mine whom we would roam around in. There's an area called Habakadal that came up so many times, Habakadal.
Okay, say the name of the area again.
That was Habakadal.
And the friend was Satish?
Satish.
That was your friend?
That was a friend of mine. We used to play cricket. And this is just the tip of the iceberg, just the tip of the iceberg. There are so many instances where, I mean, in 3 hours, they can't show everything, of course. But I have even carried a dead body of a neighbor of mine who was killed by the terrorist. I have carried it with my own hands. So it's very painful to watch the movie, but nonetheless, at least something has come forward. So I'm happy that people now know the plight, what we have gone through.
I can feel actually like you probably felt some PTSD while you're watching this because you're watching something that you actually saw.
I usually don't cry in the movies, but I had, for naturally, a tear just flow down.
So although it's a very dark time in history, there's a positive thing that at least it's being brought to the surface and saying there was an injustice.
In what terms?
Like nobody knew about this or it's not been talked about. You know, we talk about the Ukraine, we talk about other causes.
No, I don't know if we are responsible for that because as Kashmiris we're told by our parents, concentrate on the studies. Do not waver around. Just anything happens, concentrate on your studies, make your lives and move about. That's all we do. We never took guns in our hand. We never went for the rallies, and so this is what we're taught. This was our culture as Kashmiri Pandits.
See, I'm blown away right now because I think we see you. I wouldn't know your story unless I talked to you, and you've been through so much. So I apologize that you've gone through this. I feel very sorry for that, and hopefully you are able to heal and help other people. Yeah, I can see it.
This movie is such a truthful depiction of what has happened. Yeah, I knew my friends told me that it's a nice movie, but going there and watching it and seeing what they have shown is actually what I have gone through.
It almost feels like everybody after the movie needs to just sit and you know.
It gave me goosebumps. Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you for talking to me and take good care of yourself. Yeah, thank you.
Kashmir Pandit, and my family also moved at the same time. So
you were there during this time?
Yes, I was during that time, and yes, as it is shown, because it was more of a terror, because they wanted to, like terrorize people and scare them to a level. People would flee and leave everything behind, right? Because the reason was that, it was not because generally people say that Kashmiri Pandits just fled and they were scared. It was just because they were scared that their daughters will get abducted and they will just take them and get married or kill them or rape them, because there were so many rapes happening there that time. So that was the reason my community had to leave that place. It was just for the safety for their daughters and wives and sisters, and so that was the reason we left. It was not that we were scared of guns or we were scared of getting killed. it was more of a safety of our kids as well as the, daughters of the family or the wives of the family.
Because everyone wants to protect their children.
Yes, protect their children and the ladies of the house. So that was the scare which led people to leave their families and just leave like that and not take anything along with them.
Watching this movie, how did it make you feel?
I feel like good that at least an initiative has been taken, because there were so many movies made on the Kashmir issue and all were showing the other, like the other side of the coin, like that why the terrorism started. They never showed that it was later that they, like the Muslims of Kashmir, basically, later on there were killings happening, because obviously if they, take side of the terrorists or support the terrorists, so there will be a war between them and the army, right? But before that, when whatever the story tells, right? So that was the time when they kind of like most of the Hindus were gone by then. After that, there was army and the people there who were supporting the freedom of Kashmir or the terrorism. So definitely because there are people telling that, Muslims have also died and other community people also have died. Yes, because by that time we had left, this is a story, we were there. So it was mostly the Hindus getting killed or the Kashmiri Pandits getting killed. Once we left the place, then after that, there was a war between the terrorists and the army. So
this is at least a start in the right direction.
Yes.
Thank you so much for talking to us. All right, take good care.
Thanks. Thank you.
I thought this is a good way to get the message across. I had heard about this thing, but I never knew this is the atrocity that people felt, sort of thing.
I didn't know either.
Yeah, this is kind of like, it need to be shared more. I mean, I'm not saying all the Muslims are bad. I'm just saying some of these people that are doing these atrocities, like against anybody in the thing, they need to be taught. Treat everybody like a human.
Right, because Muslims or Sikhs or Hindus, no one's bad. It's the people, not the religion.
That's what I'm saying. I want to get everybody right message. It's not the people. I don't want your Muslim friend to feel them bad or anything like that. I want them to know what these people did. Yeah, it's a history.
So people that are watching, can you give them a message? Should they come and see this film?
Oh, definitely. I think this is a movie everyone should watch, and also get your family, get your friend. And more, we need to actually talk about this movie. Let people get the message across. We need to get this message not just here. We need to get back to India, get back to people to know that they need to not just sit on it. They need to do something about it. And there's the politicians who actually sat quietly. I'm just so passionate about this thing, but I think they need to know that you can't sit quietly. They need to do something about it. People in the Kashmir, people, all the other minorities out there that are living, they need some sort of assurance that somebody's there to listen to them.
So this is a step in the right direction.
It definitely is a step in the right direction. I like everybody to go out and watch this movie, share some more comment, do it on our Facebook, do it wherever you can comment.
It's started. It's a movement in the right direction. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Like I'm from India, right? So like we know everything. Like we've been to Kashmir also. We've been to most of the state. But what I have seen this thing, like what happened in Kashmir, it's happening in most of the other places as well in India. So like it is the time like people should wake up and they should be aware of the thing. And it's not simply like what I saw in the movie, like they are just killing them and they're just running away. I don't understand why they did not fight. They should have fight also. Like in independence time, we fought. That's why we got our independence, right? So same thing, like if we are 10 and they are 100, at least if you're fighting, you're killing them 10 also, right?
It's hard to speculate. I mean, when we see it, it's gut-wrenching.
It's very difficult, but the thing is, same thing is going to happen again and again. So you can see in Kolkata, you can see in Kerala, you can see in everywhere. Even you can see in most of the other places of the world also. So this is the time like we should unite and we should fight with this. And what my question is, I don't know why some other people they are trying to suppress this movie, and they're like we try to approach other places also. They are saying that they are not showing this movie.
I don't know. Perhaps because the ugly truth is being revealed.
Yeah, whatever the reason, but that's not a good thing, right?
Well, thank you for talking to us.
Yeah, thank you.
You just watched the film. What did you think of the film, and what personal connection, if any, do you have?
Well, I'm Kashmiri.
Oh, you are?
Yes, I have witnessed it firsthand. This is my movie.
Sorry, this is your movie?
Not my movie, I didn't make it.
But you brought the movie.
This is my story.
This is your story.
I was there.
Got it. So you were actually in Kashmir when this was happening. Okay, that's huge. So tell me about this. First of all, I'm sorry, because that must be so difficult for you to watch this.
It was. Well, actually, to be honest, I watched it yesterday. I couldn't watch it today, the whole thing. I just came in the last 15, 20 minutes because lots of friends were here. When I watched it yesterday, every fabric of my body was shaking, and I had to walk out of the theater without talking to anybody. I just could not speak to anybody. And if you see, it's happening to me right now. For all these years, I was a kid back then, but I very vividly remember every detail of it, what happened. What has been shown in this movie, multiply with that 1 million. Because, you in cinematic experiences, you can go only up till certain things. You can't really show everything. Multiply that with millions. That's what actually happened there. The human pain, human emotions, you can't really show that kind of emotion what we went through in a cinematic experience. There is no way you can show human experience, human pain in this movie. But this is the first time something has come close to that.
I was just going to say, I could never experience, I could say I'm sorry, but there's no way of knowing how you actually feel, except for now at least there's light. There's a light being shined on a very dark time. Yeah.
It absolutely is. That was it's very difficult to see the darkest chapter of your life rolling on a silver screen. It's not easy.
Again, I am sorry. I can feel that you are shaking, and I would like to embrace you, but I think that that's not allowed. But yeah, thank you for sharing your story with us. And this is the start of hopefully change.
Absolutely. I want world to know this. Because it doesn't have to be in this theater or stay in this theater. I want world to know the truth, what the truth was. And this movie will do that.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, so we're talking to Vivek, and he's one of the organizers here at this film, The Kashmir Files. Vivek, go ahead. Tell me what you want to talk about, especially why did you bring this movie here?
Sure. Okay, so I grew up in a Punjabi family, and I was not known about the Hindu culture more. I mean, I was not known about that, and my mother has not even taught me about the Hindu culture. But when I used to go to the temple, and here I met with Vinay ji and Satish ji, I came to know about Hindu culture, and I have seen that what has happened in Kashmir is brutal, and it has not. I have few Kashmiri friends here, and they have told me this is whatever is shown in the movie is just a 30% or 40% what had happened to our. To my friends and their families. Whatever they have done is literally it was a tragic moment for all of us, and we have to stand and we have to support them. And this is what I wanted to say, and I want to thank UHF that we have an organization now who's organizing these kind of events, and these kind of events to basically let the people know about it.
So UHF stands for?
United Hindu Forum. Yeah.
Thank you, Vivek.
So much. Thanks a lot.
So we were talking to some of the people that watched the movie here, The Kashmir Files. It's a very sensitive subject. Some of the people that actually lived in Kashmir and were there at the time of this huge travesty. And you can see the emotion. You can see that some of them were shaking as they came out of the theater. Some of them were crying. It was palpable, and it was very tragic, and our heart goes out to them, and hopefully this movie will shine a light on a very dark time in the history of Kashmir, and hopefully they can rebuild, and maybe they can go back to Kashmir one day and show their children where they grew up. And our heart at Sanjha TV, our heart goes out to them, and we support them in their healing. So thank you for joining us, and we'll see you again. Keep watching Sanjha TV.